Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 5. This is July 2026, week 5, and we're going to be talking about recognizing the growth that was happening all along. So, really, in this summary at the end of July, we're asking what has this season revealed to us? Because it has been busy energetically, astrologically. I'm sure you've seen everywhere, everyone talking about it. I try to, in my episodes, not necessarily talk directly about the astrology, but just understand everything that we do, we work, and the reflections are all based on what's going on in the skies. July, I want to say it's been a month of quiet transformation, but let's get real. A lot of it has been anything but quiet. The winds have blown in, the weathers have blown in, they've been loud, they've been boisterous, they've taken charge, and change is inevitable, no matter how we face it, resist it, confront it, accept it, it's happening. And so over the last few weeks, of course, I want to talk a little bit, and of course, you can go back and check the videos out. We talk about what's become impossible to ignore. So when our life begins to change and shift, there are things we see that we used to be able to say, no, no, not today, but they're now right there and they cannot be ignored. And then where do the patterns begin? So we start to question, what patterns are we following? What has been working for us? What has been working against us? What are we doing? What are we paying attention to now? And then we began to ask, as the layers were stripped off of us, who am I becoming? Who am I becoming? Oh, that was a great week. And then last week we talked about a new way of thinking, a new way of seeing things. Everything's the same, but we see it differently, how our perspective has shifted. And so now we come to the final week in July, and we're looking at recognizing this growth that has been happening all along. So the question really is, what has this season revealed? Well, we naturally look ahead before appreciating how far we come. In July, there's been no looking ahead. It's been, let's peel back what we have here. Let's see what we have. What do we have in front of us? What have we been building that we might have been resisting? We are being asked to reflect inward, right? The whole Mercury in retrograde, Mercury in Cancer has asked us to go inward. It wasn't about what worked or didn't work outside of ourselves. Those are all beyond our control. Mercury was actually saying, hey, how can we go in to see what's already there? How can we go in to see who I am and who I'm growing into becoming? This is the week that we want to pause before we move forward into August, which is consumed by the eclipse season. Now, July has been much busier than August will be. And so, yes, it will feel like a reprieve, a rest, that things are kind of leveling out, slowing down. But August is really about integrating everything we've just learned over the past 8 weeks. So why looking back reveals growth? Well, because growth is usually it's not something that happens overnight. It happens gradually. So when we're in the moment, we cannot always see what happens when we're in the moment. But when we stop, we shed some layers, we look back behind us. It's like resting halfway up a mountain hike, and we really feel like, oh, we have so far to go. But when you sit down and look back to what ground you've already covered, you realize, wow, I've actually come a long way already. That's what this week is about, is asking us to look at where we have come. Look at all this work you've done, essentially since the beginning of June, because Mercury moved into Cancer at the beginning of June. It is expending, I think, a 10 to 11 week time frame in Cancer, which is really, really long because Mercury usually only spends 2.5 weeks per sign. So this is a lot of energy that we've been working through and been asked to revisit within ourselves. Growth becomes visible when we pause long enough to recognize it. So, like I said about climbing that mountain path and having a seat to realize how far you've actually come, stop. Take a look around you. Look at everything you have accumulated over the last few months, over the last few years, even over the last 10 years. There's been a lot of changes in people's lives within the last 10 years, and look how far you've come. The struggles you have overcame, the lessons that you have learned, the education that you've gained, the experiences that have become such integrated parts of who you are. All of that. All of that is to be integrated because this is where you're moving forward. None of it was lost or wasted time. It's all given you valuable insight to how you want to peel back the layers and move forward. So when we look back to reveal how far we've grown, well, Growth is a slow process. Who you are today is not who you were a few weeks ago, months ago, years ago. Take time to honor all those lessons that have come through. Ooh, our changes, our routines, those things, they're easy to get monotonous, get lost in it. It's just like, oh, this is what I do. And we don't pay attention to it. But when we do pay attention to it, it's like all of a sudden, I know for me, one of the things when I was going through some of my darkest days is that I focused on that first cup of coffee. I'd breathe in the warmth, the smell. I'd just sit with it. I'd look out the window. I'd take that first sip and I would enjoy it. And that became a part of my daily routine. And as I was creating these videos and as going through this month and realizing the work for me to do for myself, I began to really enjoy that first cup, first sip, first smell, first moment, and realize that was a moment that I had entirely to myself. And if anyone else in my family was up, I tried my best to ignore them, but I tried to take those moments on my own because those were mine. And I sat in deep appreciation because I realized that when I was going through some really, really tough times, that one sip in the day was sometimes all it took to make it through the entire day, regardless of how hard it was to keep moving forward. And so now, even though it is a better position and we've worked out of those layers and I get to peel them back, to realize that that one small, simple act is the act I take with me. So what is it in your daily routine that you take with you, not just because you do it or because it's who you are, but the one thing that you can look at and express gratitude for it? Look back upon those routines and ask yourself how they have revealed growth to you. Looking back shows you how far you've come. It's that simple. Recognition creates appreciation. When we appreciate the little things we do for ourselves, we start to realize how valuable we are as independent people. And perspective always allows us to shift directions, to change, to go left or right, up or down, whichever way we want to go. If we shift our perspective, we can shift the path we take. How are you responding differently now? Are you paying attention to the little ways that you have grown? And maybe you're saying yes where you used to say no, and no where you used to say yes. Boundaries are so awesome. Greater patience. I know for me, I found this one as well. I do have a lot more patience, especially being at the age and stage of us ladies who have the uncontrollable rage, that patience has become my best friend. More confidence. I'd love to say this one is true for me, but I still have an aversion to doing these videos. So just be grateful. I am grateful I show up and still do them, but I'm working on that confidence myself, and I hope that you do as well. And even if you have bolstered your confidence and increased it and you feel wonderful, it is not wrong to look back at to see where you came from, what built up, what patterns, what habits you created to build up this confidence within yourself. Health changes. The more we begin to accept where our feet are, our body begins to let go and relax, and we can breathe easier, we can move easier, and especially with such a strong Mercury focus, the shoulders and arms begin to shift differently. Our jaw tension releases, maybe even headaches begin to disappear. There's so much more that can go on, but these are just the few things that can happen when we allow ourselves to recognize the growth that's happening. Boundaries we've already talked about. More peace with uncertainty. We don't have to have the final solution. We don't need the hows. We just need the do's. Just take that step, take that chance, try. And the trust in oneself. When we finally strip away the layers of what we've been trying to ignore, strip away the layers of the old patterns that no longer serve us, strip away the layers of not knowing who we are, and stripping away the layers of seeing with new eyes. It's kind of like getting cataract surgery. You're taking the old foggy layer off and you can see differently. It's not better. It's not worse. It's just different. And having that greater trust in yourself and the ability to move forward is absolutely amazing. So we grow. And with that growth is remembering that every season leaves a ring. Trees only grow one season at a time, and each season adds a ring. Just like in your life, each season adds a ring. There's nothing wrong. There were no wrong or bad choices. There's just where are you now and what best choices can you make for yourself now? Some seasons will stretch us. Others will nourish us and rise us to the top. Some will strengthen us through hardship and challenges, but some will also strengthen us through wins and excitement. Everything is a contribution to your ring as you are and how you grow. Growth accumulates over time slowly. The sapling does not become the great oak just by rising up out of the dirt. The sapling adds rings and rings and rings, and the great oak has lived through all of those. So growth accumulates and strength is acquired quietly. And your strength comes from within you, from everything you've experienced and how you've grown. So every season leaves a ring, every ring leaves strength. Roots deepen before the branches expand, strength develops before it is needed, and the tree prepares long before the stronger winds arrive. And what that means for you is that no matter what you've been through, how you've been through it, every part of it is a part of you, and you are building up the strength and the resilience and the necessity in order to grow forward. So when the sky mirrors the journey, this is a big week. The sun comes into opposition with Pluto, and what that means with this conversation is Jupiter was right there a week beforehand, and so this is just a really luminous reminder that we are meant to rise above. And not to mention the sun in Leo and Pluto in Aquarius. This is so beautiful. This is the heart and the circulation system. So this is like a huge reminder that after we filtered through everything, the go big or go home, filtered through the nuances, the avoidances, the resistances, we filter all that through, then we come into a position of vitality where we're being asked, where do we want to invest our energy? Where does our heart want to pump? Where do we want to flow through life? And that's the beauty of what's coming up towards this new moon. And then the sun has a conversation with Uranus, and Uranus in the tree of life is that energy surge. You know, if Mercury's already rewired the circuitry within us, and now we get that electrical surge to charge us up. And then we have that midweek full moon that is met with a Venus and Mars conversation. And this is literally the beginning of eclipse season. And with all of this, it's kind of encompassed by Sun and Jupiter having their kiss, their yearly kiss. They meet up. This is the luckiest day of the year. I will have a full moon article posted in Substack about this in great detail. But for the purpose of these videos, and what does all this energy mean? It's just the light gets to shine deeper into the tree, so into your soul, that with that Uranus and Sun surge that's going on. The roots reveal what's already been transformed. So if you've been working over the last few weeks about, digging up your roots from toxic soil to transplant into new, fresh soil, they're going to reach out for that nourishment and grow with it. The living current awakens new possibilities. So that which has felt foggy and dormant is going to have life literally breathes back into it, breaths back into it, breathe back into it. The heart of the tree will start pumping again. Okay. This is where the circuitry connects everything we've been learning, and we can feel this vibrancy flowing through our body. The seat of the soul recognizes the journey. So what has been sleeping or restless or emotional understands the value, the merit, and the purpose of this deep introflexion and going within, so that when we expand upon ourselves, we feel brighter, lighter, and freer. Also helps our body move better, and I'm looking forward to that part of it. Confidence really begins to emerge. Everything will begin to make sense. Separate experiences become one story. There's a reason for all the chaos. There's a reason for all of the confusion. It will start to become clear. There was no experience over the last few weeks that has been lost on the universe. The universe hasn't been out to get you. It's been out peeling back your layers so that you can bring all of the diamonds, taking the rough parts off and the diamonds and bringing them together and building this one incredible jewel that is you. Where you're going becomes easier to recognize. Understanding the system and the patterns and yourself becomes the wisdom. It's like the bird does not trust the branch, it trusts in its own wings. This is a moment where you get to trust in your own wings, and you get to take flight and confidence in your own vitality beating through who you are. So when we move forward out of this week and into August, so this full moon, this Aquarius full moon at the end of July is opening the doorway to the eclipse season. Eclipse season is going to begin a little bit after. However, this is definitely opening the window to be aware of it. An eclipse season is about movement, clarity, meaningful change, whereas July has quietly prepared us, in June to a degree. It just started these videos in July. So July has prepared us. The roots have deepened, the trunk has strengthened, and another ring has formed, and August will reveal what July has cultivated. So even if you don't have all the answers by the full moon, just know that everything is wide open and it can be seen, and we'll get to put all our cards on the table over the next few weeks as the energy moves through August. Notice, especially through this moon, is your breathing, nervous system, recovery after stress. Take that downtime, step away if you need to. It is air fire, so it is fun and flirty. But Aquarius and Leo, as much as they are very social energies, they are also very independent and individual energies. There's capacity, confidence, energy, presence, ease, joy, whatever feels later. But remember, this is also the beginning of the beating heart, right? Because Leo rules the heart and Aquarius rules the circulation system. So in the tree of life, this is getting all jazzed up and ready to connect with clarity, no longer the energy being blocked. So it can lead to overwhelming nervous system energy, but it also can lead to incredible excitement. So what do you have to get excited about? July has been preparing us. Every conversation has added another layer, and we have been growing slowly and allowing it to unfold. And August will be inviting us to live what has been cultivated. Eclipse season becomes the next chapter of our journey, and every season has a ring, and every ring leaves a strength. And just remember that every ring matters in your life, in your experience. So just take a moment to release that which no longer serves you, that which no longer fits or feels comfortable, and to know that as you step forward, you really, really get to I want to say, set fire to your motivation, set fire to your ambition, your abundance, your desires, and really grow and allow yourself to move forward without restrictions. We grow, we navigate, we live. And remember to subscribe, click the bell above, and of course, down below is the link to the Substack article and the reflection in the Soul to Soul Living Tree Sanctuary. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you again next week.